And it is a good Monday morning, the first of 2026. More than 50 more times we will have to deal with Mondays before 2027 rolls around.
Hmm.
Yeah, I always like looking forward unless we can learn from yesterday and before. That's all history. And much of it is soon best forgotten. I'm Rayford Brown, and I'm grateful to have one of my two great co hosts who also serve as friends with me today.
Oh,
Good
thank you.
morning.
Good morning, and I'm Lee Barrows, and glad to be here.
And Chris has unfortunately had a minor situation this morning, so he's
Yes.
probably everybody's going to say, "What's going on?" I'm going to call him.
Yeah.
His number, if y'all want to give him a call, is 910-BR-549.
Don't be bothering Chris this morning for a while. He's got his hands
Yeah,
full.
he's got his hands full right now. But anyway, it'll be fine. Nothing critical.
No.
Nothing critical.
We'll probably have an update a little bit later before the show's over.
Yeah,
He'll probably
hope
call
so.
in.
Yeah, because we want to know. We have inquiring minds.
We do.
Between the two of us, we have one.
Well, if you want to know anything at all, Rayford, what's happening in somebody's life, if their dog is missing,
Don't you even do it.
their opinions on
I have
any
a gun.
subject in the United
I
States
will shoot this
or
computer.
world, just go on social media because
There's
you get
nowhere-
it all
I
there.
can't get on social media.
Things that are not
I
factual.
can't get anywhere this morning.
I know. Yeah, we've
I've
gone
got a
through
computer
30
that
minutes
is-
of cussing a computer. Nicely.
Toes up and take it on water.
Just like get a new one. How old is that computer?
It's not that old, but it's beside the point. It's got AI in it, and AI has gotten in it and infected it. I have to keep scrubbing it, and this screw not wanting let me scrub it right now.
I have no clue. I
One
will
of the
say
things
knock on
the
wood.
more I'm reading about stuff, the more when I buy a new computer, it will not have Windows on it. I'm going to go to Linux or whatever they call it. Linux.
Are you? No, you're talking about Lenovo.
I know. I'm talking about it's Linux, but anyway, it's
that's
not Windows.
like
But yeah, I'm not going to do that system anymore. I'm fed up with it. Microsoft has made me mad. Everything else has made me. Everything has made me mad.
Just a real quick rant about Microsoft, and then I'll get off of it. Is that what irks me is when you first, many years ago, you buy it like a desktop. That's what most everybody had back then, desktops, and you had your operating system on there, and it was DOS, and then it went to where you had Microsoft and everything. So if I wanted to write a proposal, do an Excel sheet, do something like that, the program was already on the computer. Then over through the years, it came separate. You had to buy it and you have to purchase it and renew it every single year. I use Google, but because it's free, but it's just irritating. It's irritating converting stuff.
It's all irritating.
Oh yeah. Anyway,
it's all the whole thing is irritating. It's
I'm
just
too old for all this.
I'm just
like I'm done.
I've had it. I've had it with them.
Yeah, for 30 minutes, folks. I've heard about the computer.
Yeah, but you didn't see the first hour in here this morning. We got a lot of things to talk about today.
Yes,
a
we
huge
did.
event, a surprise visit from a lot of United States ambassadors of goodwill stopping in to invite the president of Venezuela on Saturday to come to the United States for a special visit and to see firsthand how the justice system works. That's one of our discussions today.
Yes.
We have some news about a Jacksonville man who will be spending some quality time with the county's bed and breakfast facility. And there's the amazing story of how an advertising gimmick got out of hand 30 years ago. That's the big subject in law schools these days that they're teaching. So anyway, how was your weekend?
My weekend went well. It was pretty quiet, except for meeting Saturday. Saturday morning, went to a meeting, came home and just did a lot of things around the house, trying to catch up.
We got hammed out on Saturday morning. So
yes, we did.
Got hammed up. We saw a bunch of guys for the first time this year.
Yes. And some ladies too. Yes.
Guys, if you ever speak a New Jersey
No,
type,
you're going to do
guys,
it right. Do it
guys
right.
is both, okay? Guys is both.
I know what you're saying.
Males and females, okay?
But you don't say it with a Jersey accent.
I don't have a Jersey accent.
Well, you can't, if you're going to say, "Oh yeah, I spent the morning with a bunch of guys." What if I said that? It was a ladies' group.
Well, you don't refer to those your lady friends as guys too?
No.
I haven't gone out with the guys. No, well, something wrong with you.
Okay.
Well, first of all, thank you, folks out there. A couple hundred of you. Who I was absolutely floored after posting one of my. I don't do them very often on socialist media, but I did post a personal opinion piece on Facebook Saturday night.
It was very well written.
Earlier in that day, a contingent of our armed forces delivered on the president's promise to snatch the illegal, self-proclaimed dictatorial president of Venezuela, a drug trafficker, and deliver him to the United States justice system where he'll stand trial on some pretty serious narcotics charges. The charges are not for simple possession of pot. No doubt you've read the nuts and bolts of the Saturday haymaker we delivered, and no doubt you've been hearing the naysayers of what we did to take Nicolas Maduro to the mat. We have got him on the mat. He's pinned right now. Whether you like or whatever, for Facebook readers out there, we all were quick to react with many people responding to my post. It was, again, like most stuff this show does, an opinion piece.
Yes.
Simply put, I pointed out that the invasion and arrest of Maduro was no different than what we did in January 1989 in Panama. We sent military troops and a number of other individuals to take down Manuel Noriega, the disgusting leader of Panama, and transport him to the United States to be tried for his drug trafficking operation. Part of that operation was tied to Eastern North Carolina. In fact, if you will pick up the book, Sea of Greed, it's written by a North Carolina man. He was a U.S. attorney at the time.
Right.
In 1989. He retired as a federal judge some years ago. And the operation was intercepted by a group of coasties on routine patrol early one morning in the dark of night, on a dark and stormy night, in fact, out of Morehead City. And they found a boat. They turned around, looked at it, said, "Hey, there's something suspicious about that boat coming through the inlet, and it's a fishing trawler with no nets anywhere." So, oh, wow, I know what this is about. So they got turned around. They found the boat tied up at a dock in Morehead City, and it was full of pot. It didn't have a pound or two. It had bales of pot. Now, the bales generally hold somewhere around 50 pounds. That's the way they package them. I got pictures of them right over here, not from that operation, but from others. And they intercepted that, and therefore that began the investigation and what turned out to be a trip to see Mr. Noriega in 1989. Back in 2011, a contingent of SEAL Team 6 members were aboard helicopters that crossed into Pakistan in the middle of the night to locate public enemy number one, Osama bin Laden. And their mission was to bring him to the United States to stand trial for his part in the 9/11 attacks that killed several thousand Americans. We invaded both Panama without Panama's permission. We invaded Pakistan without Pakistan's permission. We didn't ask permission. We just did it. In the case of Noriega, we took him into custody when he surrendered. In the case of Mr. bin Laden, he didn't want to come. He did not want to come peacefully. He confronted a member of the elite SEAL team with a gun, and he was sent to see the folks in the land of virgins. Bin Laden's body became shark fodder a few hours later. Those congressional naysayers that we're hearing from after the invasion on Friday, Saturday,
Ridiculous.
a bunch of them out there, they, as well as the usual lefties, made their opinions known. Okay, y'all got opinions? I got an opinion. Best they could put together was that the president did not notify them of the invasion. Boo hoo. As some people pointed out then, and I'll point out again, given the disdain for Trump in Congress, he knows he doesn't have a lot of friends there, neither Republicans nor Democrats, right? But especially among the liberals. And some of the country's leftist folks who would the president have selected to discuss and advance the plan of action, who would he have picked from Congress to bring into the office and say, listen up, I'm getting ready to go in there and we're going to take down this dude. We're going to bring him back here and we're going to try him. Who would you have called if you were in his shoes? He didn't have Tonto on his side. He didn't elected officials, those in office. Who would you have called? He's been burned. He's been shot in the back several times. For those of you who have families, we have a lot of folks around here who are military, prior military, whatever. For those of you who have families, would you have trusted any member of Congress with that information in advance if you had a husband, a wife, a son, a daughter, or a parent as a member of that invasion team? Who would you have been willing to share that information with? Anybody, and you would have been dumb.
Yeah, certainly not our Congress.
No, that's what I'm talking about. Our Congress. Who among our congressional leaders, who in Congress would you have trusted with this information? Not one soul.
I can't think of one soul, and this is not a slight towards the ones
can't
I
either.
respect
Loose
thoroughly.
lips
But
sink ships.
all it takes is that one person saying, "Hey, don't tell anybody."
No, all it takes is that one person letting it slip to a spouse who gets on the
Telling
phone
a person, that's right.
and goes to the network of spouses.
And Mary Alice has to call her best friend to tell her, "Hey, don't tell anybody." But
I
and
got this
you know
on
how
good
that
authority.
goes.
Yes, I do. Thanks to all of you who are listening and those of you who are not listening because you live way out there. Some of you in other countries who checked out the posting that I put Saturday evening. Literally thousands of folks read it. Several dozen made comments and a few hundred others hit the like button.
And the share button.
And the share button. It was shared. I don't know how many times. 100 times the last time I saw.
Looked, it was. May I say, I went in there this morning, and we see a lot of things in the back office, like how many actual viewers we have on YouTube
we know who's
and
watching.
On Facebook. You may see it says 7. No, it's hundreds more. But when I went in there this morning to check how the count was going on the story that you had written, over 69,000 views on that story.
That's a bunch.
60. And, our views have increased tremendously over the last year. And we see that. Y'all don't see that. But that story, it really, I would say 99% of the people who commented were very positive towards.
One or two had a couple of things, and they said nobody disagreed. I don't think that we needed to get rid of that bum, get him out of office, get him out of the country, right? But they did not like that Trump had to go do it. Now, here's my thing. I won't ask y'all again.
Yeah, we know what you're going to say.
If nobody complained about when we went in and we got Noriega, I mean, I was in tune with that operation.
I was too.
People.
I was like, well done.
There was not a lot of people screaming and hollering. He needed to go. Okay. On that Sunday evening back in October of 2011, all of y'all at some point in time got a tip that something big was happening. You didn't know what it was. I got a tip earlier in the day. I'm like, oh my God, we really did.
Mm-hmm.
We got him. I did not know how bad we got him.
I think it was Saturday morning. We all woke up.
Sunday.
And we were talking. It was a Sunday morning.
It happened on Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Well, it happened overnight Saturday, but
right. Okay, so I guess that was just
Sunday night is when we got started, and then when Obama took to the podium, everybody was watching. And you know,
you're talking about that. I was talking about the other.
Do you know what happened on after that big event was announced to the world? The streets of New York and Washington and all the major cities across this country had people dancing in the streets celebrating.
Right.
They were celebrating the demise of Osama bin Laden. Go America. USA, USA. The chant was there.
Absolutely.
It was to get rid of him. We needed to get rid of him. He needed to go. You know, I, I know a whole heap, a bunch of people that would have taken him out, given the opportunity.
Well, there's so much. I applaud the president and the military on this action. And they practiced. They knew what they were doing. They knew the landscape. They knew the layout of the house. They knew they were so good and so articulate in their movements.
Yeah.
And they were able to go in. A few of our military servicemen had some injuries, but
Everybody
other than
came
that,
home.
everybody came home, and we accomplished what we needed to do. And I sit there and I look.
And all we're hearing now is it's all about something else. It's not about the drugs. Well, there are other side benefits to this whole thing. We know
Exactly.
that we're going to find that. We've had side benefits with Panama when we took Noriega down. There are going to be side benefits here. First of all, we are going to free up a group of people called Venezuelans,
That's right.
and we will assist them in getting their government back in operation
They are
like it's supposed to
partying
be.
in the streets.
They are, and then we
So
can
happy.
assist them in setting up, and we've already got arrangements with the big gas people, oil
Yes,
people, to go and assist them with getting their reserves. They didn't get any of this money. All of that, all the
Right.
money that came out of the oil product, that was a Maduro thing.
Right.
That was his money, just like the smuggling money was his money. So now if they can set up, and those people, the same people that were working for nothing, will now can set up and get jobs to do the same kind of work. Well, then they get paid for it. Well, so what's wrong with that? But thank all of y'all, and I got one special person to offer my gratitude to.
And
Hold on.
uh-oh.
Ex-Vice President and President wannabe Kamala Harris. After the raid Saturday, Harris spit out some stuff on X condemning Trump for taking Maduro out of action.
Of course she did.
She agreed that Maduro is a piece of crap, but claims Trump's actions were illegal and did not make America, in her words, safer, stronger, or more affordable. 1 out of 3 points, and I agree, the cost of cocaine is going up. So a lot of Americans will have to pay more for their dope. The rest of it, thanks, Cam. If you had agreed with my point of view, I would have known that I was wrong. You didn't agree with it, so I know that I was right. This show is more than Facebook postings, y'all. We would love to hear from you live right now, today, this morning,
Absolutely.
so others can get a feeling of what the rest of the world thinks. Matters not whether you like Trump. I trust you do like America. But we're looking for comments on how the whole operation was handled. If you disagree with it, it's okay. I don't know if you got a better plan or if there's a better plan. Maybe there was. Unless you can support Maduro's trafficking operation, you will have to understand that we do have a right to cut off the head of those who are engaged in such operations that negatively impact the citizens of this country and end up killing us. 110,000 people die per year from drug overdoses in these United States. How many kids among that? Most of them are young people, kids or anybody under 50. Most of the people who are dying are kids. No, Maduro was not in his boats that were sending all the dope here. They were not bringing fentanyl. They were bringing cocaine. That's the other drug of choice. The big question is, does the president have a responsibility to tell Congress of the plans to go after scum like Maduro? He has an obligation and a requirement to report back to them after the fact.
Absolutely.
It's a lot like a grand jury proceeding, people.
1973 War Powers Resolution.
Yeah, it's like it's just like a grand jury. You don't tell anybody what is going on. There's secret sessions up there, right? 910-333-0139. Want to weigh in? I'm ready to talk this morning, so get your mess ready to go.
I just want to say we have some stupid representatives of the U.S. Congress,
Yep, we
when
do.
they get on public television, public media, and they're saying that Trump broke law and that the Congress has the right to declare war. Well, the last time that happened was in World War II. We did not declare war on this operation. This operation was pulled off by the U.S. military under, Trump's direction. They went in, they got the bad guy. Did not our last previous president
Yes.
put a $25 million bounty
Yep.
on Maduro's head?
Yeah. Somebody did. I guess it was
Kamala,
Biden.
where were you? Weren't you vice president then?
I was down in the border because I was doing my job down in the border.
Yeah, the border at Target.
Okay, let's look out there towards the ocean this morning, towards the deep blue sea. Today, offshore
Deep
easterly
blue sea.
winds 5 to 10 knots, becoming southerly in the afternoon, seas 2 to 3 feet, 8 seconds apart. Not a bad day, y'all. Sounds and rivers only a light chop tomorrow. Westerly winds 5 to 10, becoming southwesterly 10 to 15 in the afternoon, 2 to 4 footers. Sounds and rivers a light chop, increasing to a moderate chop in the afternoon. And then on midweek, Wednesday, hump day, westerly winds 15 to 20, kicking up a bit, becoming southwesterly 10 to 15 in the afternoon, seas 4 to 6 feet. Sounds and rivers choppy, diminishing to a moderate chop in the afternoon.
Today, sunny with a high near 62. Calm wind becoming south around 6 miles per hour in the afternoon. Tonight, mostly clear with a low around 42. Tuesday, early morning, patchy fog, cloudy, then gradually becoming mostly sunny with a high near 69. And Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high near 71.
All right, check in with
Nice.
speaking of the Ham Radio Club, Onslow
Yes.
Amateur Radio Club, had a meeting on Saturday, and we talked about weather and all sorts of things. A lot of guys there and there, members of the club, are trained weather spotters with the National Weather Service out of Moorhead. A couple of years ago, we had a gentleman to come in from the Weather Service, and he gave us all the instructions on how to identify this and do this and do this. You guys can do the same thing if you want to go to their website. There's an online course there that you can take. You can check the National Weather Service, punch in there weather spotters or weather spotter training, and see what you come up with. Randy was out this morning bright and early. He was on his golf cart with his dog Boomer, driving around the community. He's out in the southwest area. Temperature there at the time 30 degrees, 97% humidity. He had a 0.13 inch of rain on Saturday, as we did most of us in the area. Right now it's clear and calm in his neck of the woods. Had no rain overnight. Joe down in the borough, he had 36 degrees this morning. He said it was calm and clear. He could see stars, but the stars have disappeared right now. They're in hiding behind the sun. He had 0.14 inches of rain on Saturday and nothing overnight. There was no rain since Saturday, by the way, in the area. So Lee out there in the swamps, back swamp, he had 30 degrees as well this morning, 86% humidity, a light northeasterly wind, about 3 miles per hour, 0.06 inch of rain on Saturday. Dale, over in Riverbend, up the river there, 30 degrees, 98% humidity, no wind this morning, 0.15 inch of rain over the weekend, Saturday. Ward, Cedar Point, 38 degrees. And the warm spot this morning, 81% humidity. He's at Cedar Point. Light breezes, 0.16 inch of rain Saturday. Ken in Onslow Bay, just down the street here a bit and off of Rocky Run Road, 34 degrees at the time, 84% humidity. Had a trace of rain. He didn't know how much Saturday. Bill checked in this morning from Catherine's Lake. He had 32 degrees, still had a little bit of water in the lake, and the winds were calm. And Lee here from the Woodlands section of the Northwoods area, 32 degrees at the time, 89% humidity. 2 mile per hour gusty winds out of the southwest. And the gust is pretty light at 2 miles an hour, 0.14 inch of rain here in the studio. At that time, it was 99% humidity, light winds out of the southwest. Earlier, they were from the northeast, and then they switched around to the southwest, and they're calm right now, and they're not blowing at all. And we had, over the weekend, 0.12 inch of rain on Saturday. Now, the temperature has steadily dropped this morning, as it does
Yes, it
generally as we
has.
approach sunrise here. It's down to 27 outside,
Mhm.
and it's about 32 degrees, 31 degrees up in the sensor right outside the house where it's nice and warm.
And something that I just want to bring up, and just a public service announcement. Some of these nights are dipping below 30 degrees. And of
Oh,
course, we know that's freezing. And there may be moisture in the air. We may have just had rain. Expect when you go out in the morning to look for those icy situations. You may have a small
yeah.
little patch of ice on your sidewalk. I know this morning when I was out there, I was like, I slipped a little bit and I was like, oh, okay, and chose the grass to walk. And I had a little bit, just a little bit of frost on my windshield also. So remember where we may not have had rain, snow, or ice, all those words,
Do.
or the dew
Well,
does attach itself to various surfaces, and if the temperatures drop below 32, you could have a potentially serious situation. So be careful.
well, out the back door up there at the main part of the house, I stepped out on the deck this morning to
Yes.
take a look, see at the doggies when they went out.
Yes.
And the deck was damp,
Right.
but there was a spot there going down the steps. And I said, whoops, that's real slick
Mhm.
right there. It wasn't wet.
Yes.
It was icy, just a little trace of ice. I'm glad I had the railing
Yes.
because you
Important.
can fall. And when you fall, you can get hurt.
Yes.
And the older you get, the more hurter I get.
And the more you should think about those falls.
A Jacksonville man, he's not getting hurt this morning because he's in the local bed and breakfast where he'll await trial on charges that include domestic and child abuse, kidnapping, and assault. Arrest warrants say that 35-year-old Michael Lawrence punched and slapped his wife and held a knife against her neck. The charges against Lawrence also say he took her from one place to another without her permission for the purpose of terrorizing her, and that he threatened to kill her. The investigation also shows that he physically injured his stepchild, who was under 16, causing bruising. He had his first court appearance on Friday. That's the first of many appearances
Tell
that
you
he's going to
what,
have. No
the
doubt
Onslow
about it.
County Hospitality House has been really full lately. A lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Look, just last week we had 3 going to court in one morning.
Uh-huh.
It was just like, and got to be busy in the courts right now. Of course, they're always busy.
Late
But
news right now. Madura's en route to the New York court for his arraignment, his first appearance. So
good.
we'll know a little bit
I'll
more
watch that
later
when I get
today.
home.
His dress right now is not quite the same as he was when he was
I'm sorry, I shouldn't
down there
laugh, but
in Venezuela.
it posted at 3:52 this morning. Multiple oil tankers hit by U.S. sanctions appear to be making a coordinated attempt to break the U.S. naval blockage on the Venezuela's energy exports by deporting all at once.
You probably don't want to do that.
I mean,
You really probably don't want to do that. Those chase boats are really, really fast.
well, look,
We are going to blockade Venezuela. We're not going to let them start shipping, continue shipping their oil reserves to other countries like Iran. That's just a no-no. That's on the no-fly list for us.
Those naval ships carry big guns too.
Yeah, it doesn't
big weapons.
Yeah, and we don't want to blow up these other vessels because they got some very valuable oil on board. Their oil, by the way, out of Venezuela is a little bit on the challenging side. You got to have special refineries to deal with it.
Right.
And the refineries that they had been using in Venezuela, I guess they broke down. They didn't have a way to repair them. And it was cheaper to send the oil over to places like Iran and wherever, our enemies, by the way, to get it done. So that's not going to happen. Back during the early 2000s when I was down there, was it? No, it would have been in the teen years, sometime 2014, 2013, not in Venezuela, but down in that neck of the woods on the islands there. The price per gallon of fuel In Venezuela, are you ready? 11 cents for the residents of Venezuela. If you lived in Venezuela, you could drive with gasoline for 11 cents a gallon. Now, I
Wow.
don't know what it got up to be, but I know that on an island just a few miles away, 50 miles or so away, Curacao and Bonaire, presumably Aruba, but I was on both of these other islands. They're Dutch islands, but they're within 50, 60 miles of Venezuela. They got, Curacao had a big refinery there, and they got oil in. And the price of oil, price of gasoline at that time for cars was only like $2
Oh,
per quart, well, per liter, which is approximately a quart.
wow.
So that would have been $8 a gallon at that time. So yeah,
My
they did not
goodness.
do the Dutch any favors.
Well, I'm about out of gas and probably need to stop and get some on the
It
way
was
home. Should I wait a couple more days?
2:31 yesterday, or day before yesterday, when I passed the big box store here.
Well, I canceled my membership
I
there.
understand. Now
So-
we've got down in those two little islands, Curacao, well, three islands, Bonaire and Aruba, what they're known as the ABC Islands, Aruba, Bonaire, Curacao. They're off the coast of Venezuela. And they have been having some no-fly issues. Right now, KLM, which is the major Dutch international airlines, they normally fly into Bonaire once a day. And they got a big old airplane that brings, it's like a 12-hour, 13-hour flight from Holland to Bonaire, but they have people traveling every day back and forth. So they run one flight in and the same flight goes back out every day. But Bonaire is the only island that's open for that right now. They're not flying into Curacao or Aruba as of last night. And there have been a lot of flights that have been canceled. A lot of flights that were in Venezuela were canceled some months ago. And there are apparently a lot of the islanders who travel back and forth to Venezuela got caught in Venezuela with no way to get home. And they've been there for quite a few months. So hopefully they will get that opened up. And so those guys can get back home. It's been a volatile location for a long, long time. And one of those islands, I will tell you, back many years ago, and probably still is, was a meeting place. If you ever wanted to know if something was getting ready to happen in the Caribbean or South America and Central America,
Go to the local breakfast place.
Yeah, you had to be at this one location there, and if you were there, you would probably see some very strange looking guys around, and you couldn't get any closer to some of those places than normal. You wouldn't make it because they were meeting there. They had some high level meetings for people that could not be identified. So that was happening on one of those islands. It's a beautiful location. I've been to that location many times. It's a great place. Good diving, really good diving there. But at certain times, it gets turned into something else.
I can say honestly
It's
that
isolated.
the only dive-in I did was under a wave.
Oh, yeah.
That was about it.
Well, there's some cool places there.
Yes.
Uh,
I have a story for you out of Raleigh. This one really upset me, and it happened over the weekend.
mhm.
A Raleigh school teacher was killed Saturday morning during a home break-in.
Oh, boy.
Officers arrived at the 800 block of Clay Street just after 6:30 a.m. and found the victim identified as Zoe Welsh, critically injured. She was given medical aid, taken to the hospital, but later died from her injuries. The authorities confirmed she was a teacher at Ravenscroft School in Raleigh. Police reported that Welsh had called 911 to report an intruder in her home. While still on the phone with dispatch, the man attacked and beat her. Okay, thoughts on that.
Hmm.
But additional officers who responded to the surrounding area found the suspect identified as Ryan Camacho, 36. He was taken into custody and questioned, and he's now charged with murder and felony burglary. Okay, number one, keep your doors locked. Please, people, keep your doors locked. Every night before you go to bed, make sure you've locked your vehicles. Make sure you've locked your house, your home, your everything. And another thing is, can you imagine being that 911 operator who took that call, listening to what was going on while she had the victim on the phone? It's such a horrible story all the way around. Horrible. Police did they said that they're still trying to get a motive for this.
It was targeted, obviously, right?
I kind of feel like that
Or was it a
is
crime of
targeted, that
opportunity?
maybe he chose her from some reason.
Well, was it any burglary, any other crime
No.
committed?
I mean, evidently, when she reported an
Sexual assault,
intruder
anything?
and she was on the phone, he started attacking her. So it sounds to me like he was very angry with her for some reason. It could have been that maybe she cut him off on the highway, or maybe he's just looking for a woman to kill.
Was
But
she married?
she lived alone. She was not married.
Well, you don't know whether she got an ex or not, though, do you?
Do not know. Do not know.
Ex-boyfriend, ex-husband, I mean,
Exactly.
I know nothing. So those are the questions obviously will be asked.
I
or
will
have been
definitely
asked
be
by now.
following this story to
Now,
see
the
what
other
the
thing
outcome
is, she awoke. Obviously, she knew something was amiss, right?
Evidently, yes.
It's cool to dial 911 as quickly as you can.
Yes.
That would be the second thing that I would be doing. First thing is reach into the drawer and you pull out something so I can sit there and just make sure I'm good to go.
Talk them down. Talk them down. Yeah.
Talk them down? Oh, no. If you're in the house and you make it back that close, that far back into my home,
My
I'm not
talk
talking.
down would be like, say goodbye to your mama, your daddy.
Uh-huh.
Say goodbye to Jesus because you're about to meet a different person,
Yeah.
whatever. But it's just.
I'm sorry. If you made it that far into my home and you do not respond to a command,
Right.
and my command, I won't tell you what it is, will be very succinct. You will
Right.
understand it. I don't care if you don't speak English, you will understand it.
It's just a very sad story. Very sad story. Young school
I-
teacher,
I
don't know
Can
if
you
they.
imagine that school back in session tomorrow?
Yes, they
whenever
said
it
they'll
goes?
have grief counselors,
Well,
etc. there at the
Whippy
school.
dippy do.
Yeah, ready for anyone who needs to talk. But
Boo hoo.
what a
That does her a
horrible
lot of good, doesn't it?
story.
Or her family.
But she was attacked while she was on the phone with the
Yeah.
911. I'll definitely be following this story.
Yeah.
I'd like to know
There's
more.
something more, but
Yes. Wow.
A helicopter crash in a remote Arizona. Did I tell you about helicopters and me?
I
In a
know
remote
about that
Arizona
crash.
canyon killed a
Yes.
local man and his 3 nieces on
Mhm.
his wedding day after the helicopter apparently struck a slack line strung across the terrain. A slack line. The victims of the crash, which happened Friday, were identified by family members. The crash happened near Superior in Pinal County. You know where that is, right? East of the
Yes.
Phoenix area. Shortly after the helicopter took off from Pegasus Air Park. All 4 people on board were killed when the aircraft plunged to the canyon floor. Family members said the pilot was David McCarty, a Queen Creek man originally from Oregon who was flying his nieces. They were all in their early 20s to see the
Right.
sights before his wedding ceremony. Really?
Yeah, I saw that over the weekend. and was
Eyewitnesses
reading
told
it.
family members they saw the helicopter's
Sad.
blades detach moments before it plunged to the canyon floor. Relatives said McCarty was an experienced pilot who owned multiple helicopters and had flown the canyon numerous times without incident, adding that the short flight was meant to be a joyful outing ahead of what was supposed to be a very, very nice day. Wow. Wow. That one
Gone.
is just major, crazy, tragic.
It is tragic. And of course, there was the one we talked about in Pennsylvania last week where the two helicopters actually collided into each
I
other.
just don't understand that one yet.
That whole thing, I'm really anxious for
Well,
the NTSB report on that when it's done.
I told you, the helicopters can take off without a whole lot of fanfare. They don't have to get a running start, they get on the taxiway and drive 70, 80 miles an hour to get up enough airspeed to take off. They just stand there on the ground and look around, see nothing. They have to, hopefully talk to air traffic control. But this sounds like an airport. Do they have air traffic control? Not likely.
No. It was just a small airfield.
It's a landing strip, right?
Right.
It's a private park, likely. So he just takes off. Well, it's hard to see. Yeah, we got rear view mirrors. Imagine if you did not have a rear view mirror in your car, and you couldn't see anything. And do you think you will ever see the plane that's going to be coming down from behind you that when it lands on top of you on the interstate? No, you won't. You won't even know it's there until it hits you if you're driving down the interstate, because you can't see that. Helicopters are not a whole lot of difference in that, or airplanes.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have a lot of visibility, anything can happen.
It's true. What was sad was these two pilots, these two men were friends, and they had just had lunch together. They did this quite frequently.
The two pilots?
Yeah, they would fly into this location, and it was like a little country restaurant, and they'd go in there and they'd have lunch.
Yeah.
And that's what the owner and a lot of customers remember so well. It's like they always met here. They flew in their respective helicopters and they left.
I was flying looking for liquor steals with the state one day up on our infamous
liquor steals.
Infamous part of Onslow County that was infamous for his liquor steal population.
Right.
And there's little crossroads up there. Was it NC 50? The crosses off of 53.
Yes.
Not far from Chicopan. But anyway, there was a little gas stations, and it had a little, I guess it was like a luncheon counter or something. You could just get some sandwiches and whatever. Well, we landed there to get something to eat. Picked a spot and landed.
I can remember.
It's not that uncommon.
I can remember
I told you about landing in the front yard here, right?
Yes. I can remember when I used to go outside, and this is when I lived over at Catherine Lake for a short period of time. The National Guard helicopters and the SBI helicopters, different law enforcement helicopters.
This was a state helicopter. We were over there.
Very low over my house.
When was this?
Oh, this was way back. Of course, it was all woods back.
In the 70s?
No, this was in the late 80s.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and I can remember
going out. I could
out.
have been hovering over your house.
I knew the deputy that was riding, and he was like hanging out the door, passenger side, yelling at me, and I'm like, oh. But they were at that time. It was all about marijuana stocks and farms and stuff like that.
But what the pilot would do, looking for liquor steals, also looking for pot deals, but mostly liquor steals.
Right.
Drops down real low because they're not going to be built out in an open area. It says, hey, I'm a liquor steal, come see me. They're built undercover, and they're like trees and all that sort of good stuff.
Right.
So the pilot that I was with, he was dropping down, and so the rotor wash would blow the tree limbs out, so you could see underneath them back and forth. It was cute the way he would do it. And there were two deer that were down there under one of the trees, obviously taking a nap or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And they got up and took off running. That was funny.
Wow.
Funny story about a helicopter back in the early 70s. Pilot had a bank robbery. It was in Jones County. I don't know exactly which town it was. Not a lot of banks in Jones County. And anyway, the pilot is a highway patrol helicopter. I don't know whether it was in the area or whatever, but he was dispatched and he showed up to help look for the car.
Wow.
Couldn't find the car. And then the report that came out was he started going down really low and he started taking gunfire. So the thought was he spotted the car there in a field underneath a tree. Well, I forgot the guy's name, but he'd been with the Highway Patrol for quite a while. And we were having dinner one night, a big group there in Wilmington, and he was there, and he was telling me about that story about what really happened.
Right.
He'd been up in the air for quite a while.
Wow.
And he came to a field in Jones County. Nature was calling. Mother Nature said, "You got to go." So he looked around the field, nobody around that area. So he started to land because he was going to take care of business.
Right.
And that's when the guys started shooting at him.
Oh my gosh. I'm like, wow.
Well, they got caught. But anyway, that was a cute story.
Well, going back to the news of the weekend, 5:30 p.m. today, supposed to be another news conference with Rubio, Pete, the president, etc., on the actions, the military actions this weekend. So tune into that and watch. And don't believe everything you read on Facebook, please.
No.
Yesterday, there was so much misinformation that was given out. And I was on there maybe 10 minutes and I said, I'm done. And
a lot of people are just taking the opportunity here to say, here's how much we hate Trump. I don't care what he does.
Right.
If he walks out of the White House and walking out towards the car or the helicopter and a big old tiger comes running out and heads for one of the Secret Service agents and jumps on the Secret Service agent and get in the way, asking him treating endangered species disdain, they would want to file charges against him. I preface everything I say about Donald Trump with that I'm not a big fan.
Right.
I don't, as a person, I'm not really keen on him. But there are, a whole lot of the good stuff he's done is something that should have been done a long time ago. And it's done is fester ever since it should have been done. And nobody has seen fit to do it. And he said, well, why not? So he's, taking the bull by the horns in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
Good.
I just want to make a correction on the story about the 2 helicopters. It was not Pennsylvania. It was New Jersey. So I apologize for that.
It's just
so much happening lately.
Just across the border from me.
Yeah. So much happening. But why do I do this? And it's still... But yeah, I saw a story about a list of a bunch of US congressmen and senators who took money from Maduro. That's not the way it happened. That's not what it was all about.
We don't know what has been going on.
And the main story, it involved former Congressman David Rivera, who was indicted in December 22 for secretly lobbying for Maduro regime at that time, taking money and trying to influence U.S. policy. No, you can't do that. But what this person has done is they've come out with a list of U.S. congressmen and senators who have received campaign money from PACs, from lobbyists that were part of this regime. Maduro had oil. I mean, they had an oil company right there, and he was very much a shareholder in that. Mm-hmm. But what a lot of people don't understand, and it's so easy for people to get on social media and criticize a congressman or a senator, you took money from this PAC. Well, you have lobbyists that go in, and they say you're a congressman, and I'm a lobbyist, and I come in and I say, Rayford, Exxon Oil, I really, 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 really need your support because what we want to do is this and that, blah, 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 blah. Something's going to come up soon with a bill involving Exxon, maybe cleaning up the Gulf or whatever. And that's what lobbyists do. And they get your support, and then they make contributions to your campaign. That doesn't mean that you've done anything illegal. It does not mean that you've taken blood money. That's the way it works.
And that's the problem. I know you keep saying that's politics or that's the way it works. I
Mm-hmm.
think we need to overhaul our political system. Should there be contributions? Yes. Should there be any contributions from major companies that depend upon the actions, what actions that Congress does?
Right.
If Congress is going to be deliberating big bills or bills, I will guarantee you these bills would not undergo so much scrutiny. I mean, they would undergo a lot of scrutiny, but they would not undergo so much back and forth and back and forth and back and forth if these congressmen's campaigns were not getting money from the people who will benefit from the bills. I I really feel that that is part of the problem.
Well, something else that I read yesterday too that started on social media was it being said that Hakeem Jeffries tried to warn Maduro that we were coming after
How did
him,
he even know?
and that Hakeem Jeffries needs to be charged for treason, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm like, where
I
y'all getting
knew,
this?
I knew, and here's how I knew. You knew too if you'd paid attention. Trump said we're doing it.
Yes.
We're going to have boots on the ground. What do you think you're going to do when you put boots on the ground? Come in and say, hey, can you fix me a hamburger or maybe a sandwich or something?
What do you think
No.
all those months of putting blockades out there and naval ships
And
out
blowing
there
up
and
drug
destroyers
boats.
out there and blowing up drug boats?
Here's your
It
hint.
was all leading up to that.
Here's your hint, Mr. Illegal Leader of Venezuela. You're illegal. We're blowing up the boats that you're allowing to come through, encouraging to come through, or send your dope this way. We're going to take them out. And so we did. We started taking them out. And then when we get them all taken out, we're coming for you. How many times do you have to tell a man, warn him that this is what's going to happen? Oh, my.
It's just unreal. The stuff that
I just want to know who gets a reward that was on his head.
how about a $25 million bounty that Biden put out there? And why didn't we act
have
on
we
it
confirmed
then?
that? I don't remember.
It's been talked about on. I've not
I
personally
don't know.
confirmed it,
I
but
don't
I can
remember a
look it up. But
$25 million bounty. But
I can remember. It was been all over some of the major news, not meaning that it's true. That
we talked about it back during the days of Osama bin Laden, or as I now call him, Osama bin killed. He what? We said, why put such a big bounty on the man's head? Why don't you put out there a bunch of the people? Because we were hoping somebody in his circle of friends, acquaintances, the people there would go for it. Why 10 million? Why not spread it among a bunch of different people, like $500,000 rewards? These people did not understand how much $10 million was. You understand?
right?
They would understand how much $500,000 is. So offer that and offer it to a bunch of different people. They would all go after him for their share of the 10 million. Yeah. If you can
Right.
get 20 people to do it for $500,000 apiece, that's still $10 million. Your chances of succeeding are 20 times as good as it would be with just one person.
Well, I just pulled it up. Biden raises bounty for Nicolas Maduro to $25 million. That was January 10th, 2025. The Biden administration said on
That's just
Friday
before he left
that it was
office.
offering $25 million for information leading to the arrest of Nicolas Maduro, the president of Venezuela.
Well, if you go to arrest somebody and they resist, then you have to take them into custody any way you can, right?
Right.
Okay. So
And here is
he didn't
51
resist.
minutes ago, and this is U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio criticized how Biden administration handled previous bounty on Maduro while praising Trump's recent operation. So,
Well,
it's going to be a very
it
busy
is.
day.
Well, Cuba is still down there.
Yes.
And Cuba, according to the president, he's predicting they're about to fall because of what occurred with Maduro. Cuba and Venezuela got along really well together. Their troops trained together. There were a lot of Cuban troops in Venezuela. A lot of Venezuelan troops worked in Cuba. and they cross-trained quite a bit just in case of a U.S. invasion. And it didn't work out too good for them either way because we know what happened there. I have not heard of any. How many? I know we had a couple of people that were wounded. Did
I
we?
knew something
Did we have any
smelled so
enemy?
good.
Did we have? Did we take out any enemy troops?
No.
You do not know, do you?
No.
Have we said?
No.
That's right. There have been no reports about what occurred. We obviously ran into opposition if we got shot?
Right.
So I'm just wondering, what was did we take anybody out? Why isn't that being asked? Why isn't it out here on socialist media? I don't see a word.
Socialist media. Just real quick, before we have a guest in the studio, and I was sitting here
Y'all
as
get
you
ready.
were talking,
Hold on, buckle
I'm
up.
getting this fresh scent, and I'm thinking, did Robbie put in a scent machine or something? All of a sudden, and I turn around and
it was me.
she snuck in on me.
You thought that it was my cologne, right?
It's a beautiful fresh scent. It's very nice with your cologne, your perfume, your whatever.
Smell good stuff, right?
You smell good stuff. I'm sitting there going like, why is it everything smells so good all of a sudden in here?
It certainly wasn't me. She was thinking about, I did take a shower this
Anyway,
morning.
we're going to completely change all the subjects we're talking about. And we're going to go into local politics now because we have a special guest in the studio.
Boy, is she in
And,
for grilling.
Another candidate for Onslow County Commissioner, Whitney Cantrell.
Thank
Good
you.
morning.
Thank you for bringing me on.
How are you?
Good.
We were excited. We couldn't wait. We were like, and
Yeah.
I know Chris is sad he couldn't be here.
Yeah, I know. He
He
was
had
he was
something.
looking forward to this.
He
We can
was.
prepare for a phone call if
Yeah, he'll
he's
probably call.
able to.
Okay. All right. Good.
Anyway, I turned the heat on because there was a draft in here for a while. I don't know what happened. The temperature dropped to 67 degrees. You didn't even notice. Did
No,
you?
I did notice, but it didn't bother me. I was fine with it.
Well, I was cold.
Well, no, you
'Cause my
should have
blood
just
is
said, go turn on the heat. I
We
would
were
have done
talking.
it for you. But you could have told me stop like you usually do. And
When do I ever say stop?
No, you never have. I'm just.
Can you hear yourself now?
No, I thought it was my headphones.
Say I don't say stop.
okay,
I just turn the mic off.
I'm getting new headphones, my own.
Well, it matter. I can turn those off too.
I know. But stop.
Okay. Anyway, are you warm enough now? Finally,
Yeah, you want me to turn it down now?
that would be good. Thank you,
See, that's all you have to do.
Whitney. How are you, girl?
I am good. It was
Good.
very cold this morning.
It was chilly outside,
Yeah.
and so anyway, I met you some years ago,
hmm
and dealing with your dad and your mom and some stuff like that, and also some body work. Not on my body, but on my wife's car's body twice.
Yep. Yep.
So anyway,
Yep. We do a lot of
I
that.
just told her to just save them all up, future dents. Just put them all at one time and just go get it all done at once.
Yep. Yeah. We have seen y'all. There's a couple different people too that
You have frequent flyers?
we do. We have several frequent flyers in Onslow
Do
County.
you?
Yes, we
Oh,
do.
really?
I won't call them out. They know who they are, and we're very fortunate for them.
Oh, come on, call him
Let's
out.
just say frequent flyer 1 and frequent flyer. So what we're talking about, when she's employed by her dad and mom. They have a
Mhm.
company. They're all together. It's a
Yes.
family operation,
Mhm.
and it's called Excel Body Works. And
Yes.
it's like automobile bodies, okay?
Yeah,
Not
so we do collision
people
repair
bodies.
and towing and recovery and
Uh-huh.
and that sort of thing.
towing and recovery. You mean you snatch those cars that people don't pay on?
No, we don't do
Oh,
repo.
I thought that was the kind of recovery.
No,
you're talking about.
repossessions isn't something we do. We
Okay.
we primarily go for the wrecks, so that way we can bring them back to the body shop, and it
Resurrect them.
kind of goes hand in hand.
You guys get a lot of business. I know that.
Yep, we stay busy and we're very fortunate.
Yeah. Very fortunate that there are a bunch of bad drivers in Onslow County.
Well, I wouldn't say bad drivers.
No, say it. These bad drivers. Gosh.
Do y'all drive around and ever look and say, "Yeah, I'm going to be seeing that one sooner or later"? when these cars are passing you doing silly things?
No, not really. But at the same time, like once the sirens were right there by where the county has their ambulances and emergency right there on Center Street. So we hear them go out several times a day. And depending on where we are at with the rotation within the city, we know whether or not it's going to be us.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like a get ready alarm. Once they get dispatched out.
I would have figured you guys would have, a couple people driving around the county, like on the bypass and places where people are running 900 miles an hour and driving up and down Western Boulevard acting the fool, handing out business cards in advance. Say, you're a poor driver. You're going to need our services sooner or later.
No, we just wait.
See, I got advertising plans for you. Promotional plan. I'm kidding. They do a great job, and you got a good mom and dad. I know that. I spent a couple of weeks quality time with them.
Thank you.
Way down south.
Yep. Yeah, I heard you talking about the ABC Islands this morning.
Yeah, I'm sort of glad I'm not there right now, but I wish I was.
Yeah. No, Mom and Dad had great things to say about that place.
Yeah, well, we were talking about going back with your dad not long ago.
Yeah.
Saw him at the ball games.
Yeah, we saw them at the ball game all the time. They were there quite often.
Yeah,
So-
they're alumni.
Why
Yes.
in the name of heaven did you wake up and say, have an epiphany, or did you have a bad dream, or did you just say somebody did something that I really don't like, and say, I would think I can be one of those commissioners, and you went down and filed?
So it wasn't really one particular thing. There was a magnitude of things that kind of happened. I'm born and raised Onslow County. I grew up in Hubert, so a lot of our growing up time was in the Hubert and Swansboro area. And one of the big things is the growth, especially in Hubert. I know Sneads Ferry is taking in some of that out there, but it was like one day I woke up and it was just, what happened?
When did they put this interstate in here?
And it was kind of funny because it's like back when I was growing up, I was like, I was the only kid that went there. I went to school in Jacksonville because my parents worked in Jacksonville. So I went to Infant Prague up there, and it was, I was one of two students in my class that were from the Hubert area. So it was like anytime I had to go visit a friend or whatnot, we had to like really coordinate because everybody was in Jacksonville, and there was a couple in Sneads Ferry, a couple in Richlands. But at the same time, like Hubert was great because there was, that rural area. I ended up going out to Bear Creek, but there was just so much that was put up in a short amount of time that it kind of gave a little bit of a claustrophobia. So I'm over on Parkertown now, out that way, in the more country setting. We used to go back and forth on Sand Ridge to Queens Creek to the high school and stuff at Swansboro, and we could get up to the speed limit on Queens Creek.
Not anymore, especially when when it's time to pick up or drop off.
And what is concerning is there's a lack in infrastructure out that way. A lot of the roads don't have shoulders. A lot of the roads are 2-lane that a lot of these subdivisions are going in on. Some of the subdivisions are very large. And then they have plans to do Queens Creek Bridge.
Yeah, I saw that.
So
It's going to be a big detour.
we're going to
for some
have a
people.
huge situation. I know they have plans to do some things with 172 out towards Sneads Ferry. I don't know if they're doing anything on the Hubert side of 172. But as far as like going to the base, turning left, it was impossible. You're waiting on a 2-lane road. The turn lane is only but 3 car lengths. So
They're
traffic.
talking about working on 172, like going towards Sneed. This is after you go through the gate at 172 in the Hubert area, right?
No. They're talking about Sneads Ferry. I haven't seen anything yet for
Right.
the
I mean,
Hubert
this is
area.
on the other side.
Right. So they were talking about expanding and widening that.
If they'll let us use it, I say, hey.
Well, even just to help with the traffic,
Right.
coming from, because it's like it's bottlenecks, and
Yes.
that's where we have a lot of problems, and in turn, it it's the trickle down effect. So, when you have a lot of these 2-lane roads and then, you have a car accident, getting to where you need to be, you have responders that are responding. And the other day, there was a fire truck that came up, and I was on Parkertown, and I wait, and I seen him. Thankfully, I seen the fire truck way far in advance, so I had time to get over. But I was kind of in a panic zone because there really wasn't anywhere to get over. I ended up just totally pulling into somebody's driveway because there wasn't a shoulder. Right. So that's something that we need to see about because it's just, there is a lot of traffic.
Working with the Department of Transportation over things like that.
We have a number of areas that we pay a lot of attention to. One of the more infamous, I guess, is that little 2-lane stretch of road between Jacksonville and a place called Richlands.
Yeah.
Called Gum Branch Road.
Gum Branch is another one.
That if there's a wreck there, could be.
Tried delivering mail on Gum Branch.
Not me, but you don't get there on time anyway, so it doesn't matter.
So there's
that. There's the Hubert area, and the Sneeze Ferry bottleneck area. We know that, but good gracious.
Yeah, there's a couple hot spots in the county. So like we do rotation with the Highway Patrol. So in the Jacksonville Police Department, but even the Highway Patrol has districts. So pretty much from 172 over to 17 Deppy, Belgrade on the Maysville side, out to Verona, out to Gum Branch, we'll say close to around Calhoun. Might be a little bit before Calhoun. That's where our district is. Yeah. So
what we're talking about there is your business, Excel Body Works.
Yeah.
You run a record service as well, tow trucks.
So there's
you respond to either calls from the people involved in the wreck. They can request a rotai wrecker, or if they don't have a request or not able to make a request, then Highway Patrol, the investigating officer, JPD, or whoever will call next wrecker on rotation for this district. So you're in one of those rotating lists. So that explains to people what we're talking about.
Right. And those rotation lists, the law enforcement, they vet our drivers, they vet our equipment, inspections regularly, everything. But there's a couple hot spots in the area, and Gum Branch is definitely one of those hot spots, especially in the evening when people are traveling home.
Amen.
That sort of thing.
I'm gonna back up everything right now and go back to, because I was reading your 5 core pillars that you had posted. In other words, this is part of your platform. Number 1, responsible managed growth.
Correct.
Well, that all plays into this traffic and everything else.
Right. You've got ensuring development is planned, sustainable, and supported by infrastructure across Onslow County. I know that we have a huge problem with infrastructure. I also know that we have to depend on like the DOT.
Yes, there's so many variables.
So many variables, correct, in that we just can't say, hey, we're going to put in a road here for this or that. Correct. That's not the job of the county. But the DOT says, well, we can't give it to you until it's overcrowded or till it becomes a problem. So how would you work with the Department of Transportation on trying to build infrastructure?
So primarily taking assessments of the area and then prioritizing. With a lot. So have you read our 2040 Horizon Plan?
I've read a lot of it, yes.
Okay, so it's a pretty good plan.
Yes.
I like it. I do support it. There's a lot in there. However, one of the things it does talk about is keeping the characteristic of that area. So a lot of it has to, I would think that with the rezoning. So when you go from RA to R5, that's a huge jump.
Yes, it is.
Now, explain to those who have not a clue. RA is what?
Rural agriculture.
Okay.
And then
something you can do pretty much anything you want to with.
Correct. Right. But then when you start going into high density housing,
condos and whatever.
Correct. it changes, but high density brings more people into a smaller area.
Mhm.
So
1 acre lots in an area is one thing. You get one house per lot,
mhm,
per acre. Quarter acre lots, you get 4 houses. With a condo there, you may have 2 or 3 stories. You could have not 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 families living there. In this one, there's 1 acre. You could have a bunch of families living on a 1 acre plot of land.
correct.
A
And
lot
with
of folks don't understand
and
that.
with that,
With the number of cars being 4,
correct.
5, 6, 7 times
Correct.
as many.
Correct. And then you have multiple families. If you're moving in a bunch of people, that helps increase calls for EMS, that increases calls for fire, that increases calls for law enforcement. So it kind of it's the trickle down.
Mhm.
It's fine right now, but what is tomorrow?
So under infrastructure and community service, a lot of this stuff would fall under that
Correct.
because you feel like, what do you need to prioritize first?
Probably more.
Because you got
So
like
it's
new roads, schools, the need for schools.
yes. The need for schools as soon as we just got built the one out on Belgrade,
Yes,
and
that's the Woodlands, I believe, isn't it? The
Yeah,
Woodlands,
it's
yes.
beautiful. And a lot of our schools, the new ones that are coming out, they are all beautiful. But they're handling yesterday's kids. So then you have a school, you go and approve more of these larger high density areas, and the next thing you know, like on average, we have about 300 new kids in our school district a year.
Yeah.
So depending on where that's at, there's a lot going on right now. And again, I'm going to go back to Hubert because that's where I live. But it's concerning because of the area that we're in. The schools are already at capacity. We have a bunch of trailers, and then they bring in more development.
Let's talk about that for just a second. Now, what you say that's yesterday's kids, the number
Correct.
of kids. Well, yeah, because we do not have enough schools, brick and mortar schools today for the students that are in school today
Right.
in Onslow County. There are a lot of temporary, I love that word. I've been using that temporary since the 1960s, and some of those
I was in
trailers
temporary.
and some
So
of those
was
trailers
I.
are still probably still there from the
Jacksonville High School.
1960s.
Yes.
Now, so we do not have enough brick and mortar buildings for the kids we currently have,
Right.
correct?
I think that's a fair
And
statement.
now we're thinking about the additional kids coming in. Something's just not working for me.
Right.
We can't even play catch up then with what we're doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, playing catch up today is expensive.
It is. It is. I think the cost for a new school is just astronomical.
So let's just say there was not going to be there were going to be no new kids next year. That would be no new houses, no new population moving in. So we cut it off. We just say, nope, we got border control. We don't let anybody in except the people we've got here. How many new schools would it take to house without temporary trailers? How many new schools do you think it would take to house what we have today?
That would be an interesting question.
Okay, now, whatever it is, let's do algebra is X. Whatever it is, then the citizens of this county, without any new tax base, would have to pay for those new schools. Without any new tax base coming in, no new schools being built, no new homes being built if we operated under that plan. So we got a problem. We're always going to be in the deficit.
Right. That's why I feel like we need to prioritize more. And even like within the budget, there's not really a lot. I read through the budget the month of December.
I was going to say,
I'm
how long
sorry.
did it take to get through that?
There's so many pages.
I got halfway and I was like, oh.
But I learned some great things in there.
Right.
And I learned about a lot of things that I didn't already know and enhancements. It brought up some questions I went out and found answers to.
Excellent.
So it's kind of like a wheel. I don't think we'll ever be fully, you're not ever going to please everybody, and you're not going to ever fully be ahead of the curve. That would be a lovely thing.
Can't do it.
But
There's not
fair
enough money.
statement.
Right.
Fair statement.
Yes, at some point it comes down to money, and but spending money wisely, thinking about it before you write the check, thinking about it again before you write the check, and just making sure that it's going to the right places and prioritizing your needs and your wants.
Which would lead right into economic growth and opportunity. I know you're all for supporting job creation, small businesses, and workforce development. Talk a little bit about that.
So there's a lot. So our economic plan, again, beautiful. Have you ever read that one?
Yes.
That one's beautifully written. I agree with everything. I would love to see more partnerships with the schools. We were very fortunate to get the Regional Skills Trade Center several years ago.
Excellent, yes.
And I am a huge love that to death. But at the same time, it's only good with what we put in it. Everyone gets caught up working 9 to 5. Like, I get it. You go home, you want to put your feet up and relax, maybe binge watch some season of a show that you haven't seen. Like, I get it. We got kids. But the Regional Skills Trade Center brought us an advantage and an opportunity, because these kids are able to graduate high school not only with a diploma, but industry recognizable accreditations and certifications, and a skill, especially in the trades, that is beneficial in the outside world. So instead of leaving high school and going into
4-year college,
4-year college, spending a bunch of money. So it's very helpful with the children. However, I would love to see more businesses get involved. There are several businesses that are already involved. What they do at the end of the year before the graduation, because they'll have like their own separate graduation for the class, and they'll have kind of like a job fair type deal.
Yes,
where businesses can go out there for that particular program, if it fits their criteria and stuff. And I mean, the place is just very impressive, and I would love to see more people get involved in that, because on a business owner aspect, getting involved in the youth on that helps with the transfer of employees. It keeps that job force young. These kids can also see what is needed in the area. And we can kind of use that to our advantage to help build up.
Well, you just went in and covered your very next point, your bulletin on your platform, and that was investing in our youth.
Yes.
Because we do have a young age county. I mean, the average age is 26, anyway, from 22 to around 40 or so.
Yeah, so
our average ages here.
Right. It's like 18 to 24 is our biggest one, and then it slowly tapers
a lot
off.
of little kids.
Yep. We have a lot, and sports is big here.
Right.
And my daughter, she does gymnastics. My son, he does baseball. He also does the Science Olympiad and another youth program.
Yes, yes.
They have a busy social schedule, and I think that's important.
Lately the county has taken some criticism over spending money to upgrade a lot of their recreational facilities. I personally think if the money's there, spend it, get them up and running, and more of an opportunity to put out there for the youth to participate in different programs and stuff. How do you feel? I know there's talk about the county building one indoor center that will house a lot of recreation, like, games, basketball. We don't have one in the county, not an indoor center like that. Would you support that?
So several years ago, I probably would have been at a crossroads with it.
Right.
Seeing what I see today, especially with my daughter's sports, I would fully support that.
Mhm.
However, I would make sure that it would be like more of a multi-use,
Yes.
so that way you get more bang for your buck.
Right.
I've been traveling to these gymnastic competitions from Virginia to all over North Carolina, South Carolina. We're going to Tennessee next month.
Cool.
And it is crazy the amount of girls that come out and do this, and it's wonderful. Like there's such a huge and what's wild is there's several people that I'm seeing in other states that are from Kinston. They're from New Bern.
Right.
They're from Jacksonville.
And we could be bringing those people here.
Correct. And so it's like the closest one that we have done is Raleigh. Typically, we go out to Charlotte. We'll go to Virginia Beach,
Myrtle Beach.
Charleston, Myrtle Beach. Yeah.
Right.
So it's like, and I'm sitting there and I know how much I'm paying to have my daughter compete.
Right.
And so I'm sitting there doing the math and I'm just like, this brings in quite a bit of money, not to mention the hotel stays.
Do they
I like it.
forget the hotels and the restaurants because people go and eat and then go sleep? But when the group they have these tournaments, right?
Mhm.
And they bring in a lot of teams from here, there, and everywhere.
Right.
Is there direct money that is paid that goes to that facility for this? I mean, they don't do it for free, right?
Right.
Somehow they got to get money from somebody.
Right. So there's like a rental.
There's a rental.
Correct.
Okay.
So a lot of them will have like some sort of organization that will host it, similar to like how we host the fair. So American Legion has the building, but the Fair Association does the fair.
Mm-hmm.
And then they bring in the rides and the food vendors.
Sure.
So it's kind of like that. And then they have all the money in the pit and they divvy it up to however the contract states.
What if if I'm sure there are studies that have been done as to how much money is brought in? Does it pay for these facilities? Does it offset the cost of them, or is it just?
Well, like with anything, I mean, to fully offset, it's one of, like, is it ever going to pay for itself? I'm sure eventually it will. But it's a huge investment.
I'm talking about the operating expenses, even the operating expenses.
But I think that it's very much worth it, as long as it's not a complete in the whole. Like I would definitely want to see numbers before like anything, before taking a stab at it. But I would think that it'd be something that it'd be worthwhile to look into.
Yeah, multi-use facility. They've kind of come into their own being of late, because at one time people were saying, "Let's build a coliseum, let's build it," and it turns out those coliseums were losing money everywhere. I mean, lots of money.
Right.
And
but even when I was a kid back playing basketball, we'd have our tournaments and we'd host our tournaments, but we'd do it at the gymnasium, and that's a lot of time when you're hosting a tournament. I believe it was Goldsboro or Greenville, but both, like, they had just a one-stop shop. You go in and everything's right there. Whereas the closest thing now I think we would have would probably be the Commons, as far as that goes. But I do think that's something, but the multi-purpose is the big
Right.
focus, because you need to have more.
that would be the way to make it work.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you don't have these tournaments year round.
Well,
Right.
we know that the county is involved with what the city's doing also, is that
Mhm.
huge complex.
Yep.
So we're not talking about the county building a huge complex. They're just talking about building a building that will house a lot of these tournaments and games and stuff for people out in the county. Not everybody that lives in Sneaks Ferry, Holly Ridge, Richlands, Swansboro can come all the way into the city to go to the big multi-purpose center that will be built one day. And so the county is talking about building something for other county. I think it's a great idea.
I think location would probably be a huge.
I think location is going to be the big question. Where? Where?
Well, Jacksonville is sort of in the center of the county,
Yes.
right? So do you build one on the south side? That takes care of Sneaks Ferry and the south side. What do you do for the north side?
Well,
or the east side?
well, that pretty much is
Then
the
you have to
center of the
Then
city.
then you have to build another one, right?
Right. Well, I just think it's really cool. And I think it's great that the county wants to build this. And I hope it works out well, especially I think it's more important towards the south side right now. Start there. The north side, east side pretty much has the city recreation facilities right there. And we do have to talk about Swansboro and Hubert too. Swansboro, I don't think they have a big recreational facility, do they?
No, they do majority of like their stuff between the middle school and the high school gymnasium.
Right. So we would have to be talking about eventually something there too. But you said that you've read the budget. I commend you for that.
Good for you.
Kudos to you. It's refreshing to have a candidate come in here and say, I've read the budget, or I've read the strategic focus, or I've read the, what was the other?
It took me a couple of days to like get started on it because it's just there's a lot of words.
rough.
I'm pretty sure
It's
they
rough.
use like an 8-point font, maybe 5-point font.
And the bright lights, you're having to
Yeah.
play with.
Now,
But I commend you for that
that's
because
cool.
you
Question
need to
for you.
know.
Question for you. All that time that you went in there, how much money did you find that was wasted?
So that's just
That's
it.
questionable.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily wasted. Because some funds you have to use like with tourism dollars, so it's like, you could, but at the same time, you're required to use money a particular way. So that's where it comes down to like prioritizing, like, is it something that we should, give it a dollar, obviously not a dollar, but give $1 to each. And then, in the next year, $2 to each, or if we should pick a couple focuses, and then what's our tenure? What's our, so like getting down to prioritizing the needs and the wants and stuff like that and going through, the parks, parks are great. We do utilize some of them. But that's not a huge thing in my particular life. But that's, obviously you got 204,000, 213,000. It's kind of like somewhere in between there.
Right.
So, I'm just one of those people. But so, you got to look at the whole picture, see who's using what, but are we investing money in parks that are being utilized?
Right. One of our listeners made a comment, and I like the comment. Courtney said people are investing so much more time and money into their children. Having a multi-purpose building to help house that would help so many families financially with travel, as well as help small businesses surrounding it. She said it sounds like a win-win, and you were more or less saying that too. Look at the places you're having to travel. Now, building a multi-purpose center in Jackson in Alonzo County doesn't necessarily mean that'll end your travel, because we know it won't. I mean, you'll still have to
You're going to be
travel.
in competition. The facility here will be in competition with all
That's
those
right,
other facilities too.
That's right.
Who are not going to be happy that Onslow County builds one.
I used to have to go to a lot of dance competitions for my daughter, and then for myself also. And it was always out of state, out of state to go to these competitions. We never had anything local.
Well, and
That was years ago.
we have the kids to do it. I mean, if you go to a rec game, it's packed.
Yes, it is.
Even the stuff, and those are just immediate families.
That's like, just look at our Ospreys. Beautiful field out there. The city has done a beautiful job at Jack Amiot, just transforming that field. It's beautiful, but the sitting arrangements are not that great, and yet. So I would like to see the county be able to, like, if they build a building like that, and then build, fields out there with it for games and stuff, and a better seating arrangements. I mean, I love Jack Amiot. It is absolutely beautiful, but take a chair with you.
Yep. Yeah, that's what we do. We actually, we sponsor with my business that, and we go to the games, and my son loves to go, and But we will bring a chair
Right.
and we'll sit over there
I mean, it's fun. I love it, but you know,
it's nice to
take
go
a
to,
chair
you know,
it's a
everywhere else you
beginning.
go.
yes,
beginning. It's a beginning.
that, and you don't have to travel all the way to Kinston to go watch.
Absolutely.
You know,
One day we'll have huge sets of bleachers
yeah.
because we'll be famous around the world.
But I love what they do because, you know, it's fun to go to on a
Yes.
Friday night or a Thursday
Yes, it
night,
is.
and they got their little themes and stuff. So
Back to the budget and talking about
Oh, gosh.
for the organizations that the group
The
that the
budget.
county has to provide money for, right? Or
Mhm.
they choose to. They have a limited amount. They got
Correct.
80% of the budget is dedicated.
yep,
They
it's
have
like 35% to
Nothing to
school,
do with it.
26% to
State mandated,
Mhm.
basically.
Right.
So they
right.
get 20% to play with, 19 or 20.
right.
So that 19 or 20%, you've got this organization, that organization, this, and a lot of these are, and I'm not putting them down, do-good organizations, right?
Mhm.
They're charitable groups. They're maybe deserving of a lot of money. Are you concerned when you read news about, like, coming out of Minnesota, like our former lieutenant governor here in North Carolina still owes $110,000 and
$130,000.
$130,000 that he's been, because of fraud and all those kinds of things? Are you concerned that maybe the county needs to have somebody take a serious, with a criminal mind, look, and criminal investigative mind, look at these budgets for anybody that's requesting money from the county under those kinds of conditions? How do we know what they're doing is right? Does that bother you?
It would, but I mean, I'm obviously against fraud. Like, you know, even in higher politics, you know,
Mhm.
if I voted for you and I supported for you and I find you're guilty, out.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Amen, girl.
One-
I'm not. Yeah, you know, that's not. At the end of the day, it's a servitude to be able to serve your people. It's not a way for you to get rich quick type deal.
Yep.
But so it would honestly, it would be very hard to hear of local fraud. You know, is there? I don't know. I would hope not. I pray not. I think checks and balances are
Would you want
always
to bet
good.
against it?
I'm sorry.
Would you want to bet against that there's fraud here?
Oh, Rayford, I'm sure you probably know all the dirty.
No, I don't. Not yet.
But put her on the spotlight. Well, I will say that you know, the county has an outside auditor type CPA,
Mhm.
whatever, that goes over everything every single year, and the county has always gotten high marks for the record keeping. I know there's been talk in the past about money missing, but auditors have gone through the books. They've never found it. I feel like we're in good shape.
Mhm.
With our county money, and I feel like the county has done a
Well-
great job of putting money aside.
Well, and what's also, I mean, you know, Hurricane Florence was also, I guess, now closer to 8 years ago.
Yes.
That's kind of hard to say, but at the same time, you know, like with all of that, so the county has to be. The county says that they're good on paper, and
Yeah.
I do believe that because they've done things for us that have shown that.
I think we're in better shape today
That's a
than we
good point,
probably have
Whitney.
ever been in the
Right.
last
Right.
75 years at least.
I think so too.
So when it came time for Hurricane Florence, I think it definitely showed us that the county was in good shape because they were
and
able
we're in better
to
shape now than we were
Correct.
then.
correct.
right.
You know, so that's one of the things. It's, you know, people listen to talk, but they respond to action.
Mhm.
And with Hurricane Florence, like even like just the debris removal, that was fast.
It was.
It was.
That was
It
fast.
was immediate.
They had a huge mound and then it was gone. But you think FEMA paid for that?
no.
I mean,
We
you
got
know,
reimbursed for it.
correct. That goes back, but who fronts the bill?
You got to get it out of here
That's
before it
correct.
rots.
That's right.
So for us, and I think the last news article that JD News had posted or whatever, it was like $10 million
Right.
of debris. It was like
Sure.
something outrageous. And so, I mean, obviously,
Personal, I would just set fire to one end, let it burn.
hey,
I would
you know,
say
that's why we're
the
here.
county did an excellent
Just
job. They
Right.
really did. And going into that and talking about that, which something we really haven't said much on, emergency services in the county, because I think the county did an outstanding job
Mhm.
during the past hurricanes with keeping us, doing whatever they needed to do. But what are your concerns as far as our emergency services, our EMS, our fire departments? Do you have any concerns? And what would you like to work towards?
I would like to work towards better communication and understanding. I
Let her rip.
watched everything happen,
Right.
but there was a lot of talking at instead of talking to.
You're talking about between like county operations and
Just
emergency services.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
not anybody in one way or another, but I think talking and having the conversation, like it's hard to handle anything when you have a whole bunch of people.
That's right.
And so it's more of communicating. I went to the survey company that came in and did that. Again, there's 200 and how many thousand people?
Right.
I was one of
220 or
I
something.
was one of 3
Right.
that has no
People
fire
don't- yeah.
relation. There's no input from anybody. We don't,
Right.
and surveys are great if they're filled out, but if you're getting 2-3% of surveys,
It's a waste of money.
100% of
In
2%.
other words, it's too easy for people to sit back and criticize, but not be a part of it. They don't go to the meetings. They don't watch the
Right.
meetings. They don't take the surveys. They don't put their voice out there. So I agree 100% with
So
what
how would you
just
make
said.
it? How would you make us more receptive to what's going on? I mean, let me just. We used to depend on a news organization, the Daily News,
Mhm.
to cover these events and whatever. And I think people were probably better informed about what was going on at that time because they got a reporter's perspective because the reporters went out and did the job. Today we have public information officers. Everything comes straight from the public information officer.
Correct.
And there is very little real news coverage of what actually happens in a meeting. You get the county side, the city side, the police side, the sheriff's side, whatever. I mean, they're filling in the gaps there, but they don't have anybody going in and asking questions of what's behind the scenes, right?
Right. So I feel like getting the information out there is one of the biggest things. My fear is not getting it out there. I saw the fire department thing on Facebook.
Which
Right.
is scary.
Which social media, it can be very beneficial. But as I was scrolling, and I'll be honest, I didn't look at it the first 2 times. I just thought it was an ad and I kept scrolling. And then I was like, let me click on this. And then it had the meetings and stuff. They wanted community involvement. And I thought that was great. I said,
is
I'm
great.
gonna go. Well, I was actually feeling under the weather, so I was like pumping full of tea and medicine, everything, trying to make it to where I could go to this thing.
Kudos.
And in the room, there was about 40 people in that particular one. They had different ones, some for volunteers, some for paid, some for the citizens or whatever. And in that room, I was one of 3 or 4 that had no fire. I was not a firefighter. My dog and my husband's not. So, but all of the grievances were all the same. And there was so much passion in there, and I just feel like there's just a disconnect. And who's to say who did what? I'm not getting in that, but it's from there, that's when it's like my personality type is like, okay, well, how can we make it better? How can we fix it? Like, I don't care who did what yesterday or who said what the day before. Like,
Right.
okay, but this is where we're at, so let's build up.
Right.
It's too
Because
bad.
at the end of the
Yeah.
day, when I call 911, I want someone to respond.
Absolutely.
It's a shame that today we, the people, are too complacent and we don't ask the
Right.
questions that we
Right.
should ask. We have the opportunity. Don't get me wrong when I say that the city, the county, the police, the sheriff, and everybody else, they have their own public information people. They're going to
Of
put out
course.
the information,
Right.
but there may
getting
be
it to
things
the people is what we
Yeah,
need.
the people just are not listening.
Right.
Like, I'm not.
We'd have a caller with probably a question. Robert,
We
good
do
morning. How are
have a
you?
caller.
Hey, Robert.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Good
Robin. How are you
morning,
doing, Robin?
Commissioner Robin Knapp.
Yeah, I was calling in to just comment on your commentary from last night, and I didn't want to interrupt.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll give you a call back in just a minute because I don't want to interrupt your time with Mr. Bell.
Okay.
All
Sounds
right.
good. Thank you, Robin.
Thank you,
Bye.
Robin.
That's County Commissioner Robin Knapp.
But getting it out there, part of my everyday schedule is not going to the Onslow County government page to see what's on the agenda and what the new plan is. Like, that's not part of my everyday life. And I think most of the locals can agree that that's probably not part of their everyday life.
Right.
You have to get the information to the people. The people
But
shouldn't have to.
I understand you serve on some committees, though.
I do not with the county, though. So I sit on the collision board for the community college. Again, love that. They want to have input from local business owners, so that way what their curriculum is something that can be
Right.
put out. Are we doing stuff from the 80s? Absolutely not. So why are you fixing a car at the college that's a 1980s model? A 1980s model to a 2024 or a 25 is not going to be the same.
Right.
So, trying to bring that in, they've done a great job of that over the last several years. I'm happy to be a part of that. And then Robert Whaley over at the Regional Skills Trade Center, same thing. He wants to know what's going on.
Right.
And I love that. I love that. And that needs to be across the board. They have a welding program,
Yes.
nursing, food management, restaurant management, and just to get those businesses in, help shape our youth and get them out into the workforce or get them to a spot where they're not going into debt over college. I went to college for a little bit, but then I ended up running away to Hawaii for follow my husband. He was in the service. So, it's kind of one of those things, but
for the kids, the skill center, if you guys really want a good job who are listening out there today, because you're not in school today, but if you want a good job, good profession in your future, either become a plumber, an electrician, HVAC. I mean, you're guaranteed you're going to be in high demand forever and ever and ever.
Yes.
And then with the way people drive around here, you learn to be a body tech.
Yeah. I was just going to add that to you.
Or a tow operator, yes.
I mean, there are all so many things that you may be interested in that you might not care about HVAC, plumbing, or electricity, but you may love cars.
Right.
I mean, what's better than working amongst something, doing something with things that you love anyway.
I actually have two students from the Regional Trade Skills Center.
I think those skill centers, the trade centers, the community colleges, I think they are
in the early
future
college
of America. Early college.
Love
My
it.
granddaughter did that.
Right.
Yes, I did dual enrollment. And so I had some, both credits, college and high school credits in high
My
school.
granddaughter did the
Now
same.
they're going in there in 9th grade, coming out with a full associate.
Yes.
Love it.
My granddaughter did too. When she went to Pender because she was living in Pender County.
Right.
And now she's at Greece at school. So
And it might not be
Kicked
for
out of the U.S.
Yeah, and that might not be for every
she's coming
kid.
back.
Some might want to do the
Right.
social, go to prom and everything, and that's fine.
Right.
But the opportunity's there, and I love that
Exactly.
for them to bring it to Onslow. That's
Well,
great.
Well, you can invade the prom. That's not a problem.
I like
Crash
the
the
new-
party. You'll get used to it.
I
So
like
she'll
the
do in
new
future anyway.
agreement with the college too on trades,
Yes,
on expanding those. The county signed, and I think that's wonderful too. And I know you're right up on that one.
Okay.
Yep.
Number one, growth.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're looking at?
Yep. Managed.
Because that's going to be across the board. It's going to apply to the housing. It's going to apply to roads.
Right.
Because DMV.
We all have response
Yeah,
times.
DOT is
if you
the
can't
one-
get down the roads because of the high density,
Right.
and the bad thing for a county or a city or whatever controlling growth, it's hard to say, hey, Joe, you got a farm out there. We're not going to let you sell it for multifamily use apartments and stuff on it because we don't have the roads there, and the DOT's not going to put the roads there until you've got a development there. So, I mean, and DOT doesn't want to spend money.
No.
They don't want to spend my money for something that may not even happen.
Right.
The road to nowhere. I mean, how many of these have we seen across this country?
We have a lot.
Yeah. So when you get a 4-lane highway going nowhere, it's great for transportation, but
Right.
it's serving nobody. So who paid for it and why?
I'm just impressed. First candidate that we've talked to in quite a long time.
Just looked at
Quite
the
a long
budget.
time that has looked at the budget, read the focus, been involved in a
So
lot of
have you
this.
prepared next year's budget yet?
Very impressed.
I know.
Please,
And
please work on that.
It is here.
It's the budget season.
Yep. Yeah. So
Okay.
fiscal year's in July, so they got to get it all approved. What is it, like May for June?
Right.
So now is the time that they start doing all of that, and it's a
They're on it.
lot.
And they'll have
They're on
public meetings on it too.
But see, I'm one of those weird people. I've read the budget for like the last probably 5 or 6 years, not to the extent that I read it in December, but as I'm doing this campaign thing, you know, everyone was doing the holidays and stuff, so I had to keep myself busy and feel like I was doing something. So I
How's
used
that
it for
brother of
my.
yours handling all this?
He's probably drowning right now. He
When I
can't
said it was
function without me. So probably
When I said
send
it
me
was a
text.
family affair over there, I meant it's a family affair.
It is. It
Yeah,
is.
oh,
Right. I listed on both our pages,
Mhm.
active right now, your Facebook site
Mhm.
where people can go in and take a look at it and contact you through that.
Right.
Have you got any upcoming meet and greets or anything planned yet?
Yes. So they are heavy working on one out in Steeds Ferry.
Okay.
That is probably the only one that I know of right now.
Right.
And then we do have the Republican.
The meet and greet that the
Yep.
Republican Party's doing
Yep.
for all candidates. all
They're doing
Republican.
that at the country club.
I think it's February.
February 5th, I think, from
Yeah.
7 to 9.
Okay.
Right.
Good. Maybe I'll go.
So
Do I have to
Yeah.
dress up?
Well, I've got to.
collared shirt.
I'm trying to
Let you
decide
see.
whether to get Watley in on that one or have a separate one for
I'm
him.
gonna wear my
So.
mask over there on the wall.
There you go.
No, Whitney, take it with you when you leave, please. Take it with you. It haunts me. He used to have it
Staring at
hanging
you.
up here, and I just felt like, oh,
He was
Creepy.
Sniffing, he was sniffing your hair. wasn't he?
creepy. Okay, let's see if this is somebody calling for Whitney. Oh, this is Theo.
Oh, boy.
You know Theo calls the show a lot.
Oh,
Hey Theo, we're the deplorables.
Hey,
How
Theo,
are you, Mr.
good to hear from
Adorable?
you.
Happy New Year, deplorables.
Happy New Year.
Here we
How
go.
you doing?
Go ahead. This young lady right here can handle you. Go ahead. Let it rip.
Whitney, right?
yes, sir.
Welcome to drama country. and be careful with those two, okay?
All right, noted.
Something, Whitney, you're running for a commissioner. There's 7 commissioners right now,
Mm-hmm.
okay?
Mhm.
What do you think about term limits?
I do believe in term limits. I believe that you need to, get in there, do what you have to do. But the longer, I don't think you should stay there forever. I don't think it should be a career in itself.
All right, so 3 of those commissioners out of 7 are running for 3rd term, which means they're going to be there for 12 years. You have good ideas that you want to put forward, right, for Onslow County. What do you think your chances are with these people that are going for 3rd term now? What are your chances of winning when it's a clique now? It's more like a clique. What do you think your chances are of winning?
That's where I'm just planning on, I threw my hat in. I'm going to give it my all. If it is what the will of the people want, then so be it. But that's all I can do is give it my all.
I will tell you, Theo, that somebody new will get in this go around because
Correct.
3 seats up and only
Mhm.
2 incumbents are running. So there is a
All
3rd
right,
seat.
well, I'm making a point here.
Right.
Okay, so we're talking about, Whitney, you're going to go in for 4 years. And let's say you start something, but it's not finished. So let's say it's 8 years enough for you where you're going to say, I'm only going to run 2 terms and cut out, or you're going to need 2 terms, 3 terms because you're doing things that are done while your term is up. What's your suggestion on that?
So everybody has their own opinion on term limits. When you're looking at something short term, obviously that's something that can be done in 1 term. If you're looking at something that is more long term, like with the building of buildings, schools, putting in different, something like that, where it's more planning, it's not something that can be done within 2 or 3 budget cycles. Then you have a couple huge projects that you did within a couple terms. 3 terms, I mean,
That's 12 years.
right, but with the way things are
After
built,
that, don't you?
I'm sorry.
you get after 12 years, you get after 8 years, going to for 12 years, you either get stale or you get spoiled. If you know what I mean.
Well, I can respect that. I don't think that it's something that I would necessarily put more than 12 years into. I don't know if I'd be even at 12 years. There's a lot. But at this point in my life, I felt compelled to do something. I'm part of a problem solver, not a person who just like will sit on the sidelines. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Well, very good. I wish you luck. And if you do get in, try and do something about the term limits. It's very important to a lot of people. If you're going to put 8 years, say, I'm going to put 8 years, whatever I get done, that's it. And you get out. If it needs to be 12 years, let's come up with a solution of 12 years as commissioner of Oswald County. Going and going and going. At one time, you had a sheriff that was there for 6 terms, and other people, all kinds of terms. That's not the way. To me, that's not the way to run a town. Okay, you put your 2 years. You do what you're supposed to do. A lot of your projects will not get done till after you're gone because, permits and whatever else has to be done. Right?
Correct. Okay. So that's why I do feel like it's important to see something through.
I wish you luck. You have some great ideas. I wish you luck. Happy New Year to you. And we'll talk again. Come on again and bother these two.
She will.
Deplorables.
She'll be
I
back.
think she's holding her own and doing a
All
great
right.
job.
Okay, you take care.
Thank you,
Thank you, Theo.
Wow.
Oh, you got
You got
2
kudos.
thumbs up from Theo.
Yeah.
My God, what's wrong with you?
I know it.
I know I wasn't sure if I knew, but then once I heard his voice, I recognized him from calling into the
Yeah.
show.
He's got one line there that I want to steal from you, Theo. I really want to steal it because I want to use it. You either get spoiled. What was the other?
Or you get stale.
You get spoiled or stale.
Mm-hmm.
One
Right.
or the other.
Right.
And I have watched that occur so many times. If there's nothing fresh out there, then you're stale. If you're just doing nothing while you're being stale, then you're spoiled. You could be spoiled and stale.
Well, Theo will probably be happy because not this election, 2026, but the next one in 2028. I think that we will see some of our long-time commissioners have been on there for a
Yeah,
while.
one or two.
I think you will see them saying, I'm ready to
I've
retire.
done all I can do.
I've done all I can do.
Definitely.
So that's going to open the door for even, more new people. But
I'm glad to do have
I wish-
some split terms here, some split
Yes.
situations with 7 members now. Otherwise, replacing 5 at a time when there were only 5 could have been a real disaster for the
that's a
county.
wreck. That is a train wreck.
That-
Right
Well, and
now.
I do
was a
believe
potential
that you
train
need the
wreck.
guidance of the other, to kind of going in with a
Right.
fresh new board is a hot mess.
You need your elders. I mean
Correct.
older. You just need those who've been around for a while to
Right.
show you some of the ropes too.
Correct.
Right.
Not everything that you learn in school is going to be the way it is in the body shop.
Right.
Well, I thank you for that. It did the attitude like, look, they're seasoned, they've been there. I'm going to learn from them. So I'm coming in, I'm bringing my fresh ideas, but I'm also respecting what they already know and what they can teach me. So that makes for a great relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Really
Take what they
does.
got and build on it.
We
That's
appreciate
right.
you coming in. How much is
I
it going to be
know.
worth for you for me to take away a couple of people from you from maybe in September for a couple of weeks?
Oh, we only buy the plane ticket.
No, we're not going. I have a question. Have you ever done Dancing Stars of Oslo?
I have not. I helped my brother. I would, yeah.
I know
I
she'd
would-
be busy campaigning.
I
but-
let John do that, and I did all the logistics for
I
him
think I
to help with his
remember
fundraising
him
and stuff.
doing that,
Yeah.
All right. It just came across my mind.
There you go. All right. All right.
You've got the personality.
Thank you.
Definitely
We do
for
appreciate
it.
your time, and we will get you back in here too.
Oh, yes, we
because
definitely
there's a
will.
primary coming up in March.
Yep.
And,
March
March
3rd.
and we will likely have more questions. Don't take any of the questions I ask as anything personal or my personal feelings. I do have opinions, and I do have questions as always.
Right.
Yes.
I
I
think
just want
she's
people to think about it.
Yes.
extremely well prepared and she knows her
Raised her-
stuff.
I
and
think she's good to go.
she read the budget. I mean, that's a vote right there.
As soon as she did that, I said, well, okay. God, what a gullible person.
She
They
read the
suckered
budget.
you in.
Yeah.
I had to do something.
Yeah, I'm glad. Good for you.
Yeah,
And,
good for you. We'll be here for you.
that's called
Have you come back in.
preparation.
Right.
And it's wonderful to have it.
And folks, that's all she needs really to do is win the primary.
Mhm.
Win the primary. I'll be one of those 3 seats in the primary.
You're a Republican speaking now. You still going to have a Democrat to fight in November?
Have you looked at all the past elections?
I just
Yeah, but that's not a reason to give up.
do
No,
not
never
surrender.
stop
Yeah.
fighting, never surrender. But
yeah.
the most important part right now is getting through the primary.
The minute
Correct.
you
It's the
holster
point
your
I'm
gun
trying
is
to
when
focus.
the minute you holster your gun is when they're going to get you.
Correct.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you, Whitney.
We'll go
you,
from there.
All right, you
guys.
take care.
Thank you, Whitney.
All right, Robin, your time. If you're listening, ring us up, my friend. Minnesota, its administration of Mr. Walls, he was going to be the vice president, he thought.
Maybe news today coming out today.
They're working on this fraud scandal, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, don't get complacent, y'all, because we got one of them still here in North Carolina. I do not know how it slipped by all those anti-government reporters, anti-Republican reporters that were out there when
Right.
we had a
It's
Democratic
probably
lieutenant
Robin. Let me
governor.
see.
I
Yes, Robin Connenberg.
it was I don't know how they got by them when Mark Robinson and his wife they just let that one slide. I think. Robin, you're back.
I'm back, guys.
Okay.
Hey, good morning.
What did I do to make you mad?
You actually didn't do anything to make me mad.
Well, give me a
just
couple of
commenting
minutes.
Huh?
Give me a couple of minutes. I'll think of something.
So, your thoughts on what happened over the weekend with Maduro?
I read your commentary and everything you said. I agreed with 100% for sure. And there's a lot of misinformation out there. And I guess what I'm saying is that I get tired of hearing the hypocrisy from the left continuously every day. Condemning President Trump. For his actions against Maduro. He gave this individual so many warnings. People don't understand the strategic value of Venezuela, and the fact that it's in the Western Hemisphere. In fact, it's in our backyard.
Yes,
There's
it
so many
is.
players involved in this, and the biggest one obviously is just the him being classified as a narco terrorist, along with other countries. And it's about time we had a president that decided to take action for the benefit of the United States. I'm not going to sit here and argue about, well, it was an oil thing, it's this and that, and we're trying to seize oil. We're trying to put our influence or expand our influence on this country or that country.
All right.
That's all part of the big picture. I get it.
That's right.
Let me
The
throw
thing
this.
is that
Go ahead.
the thing is that Trump decided to take action. He gave this man warnings,
Mhm.
and he's preventing this corrupt leader that allows narco terrorists to come into this country and ship his poison to the United States, which directly affects American people. And he's using his oil, the billions and billions and billions of barrels of oil that he has. My gosh, Venezuela probably has the largest oil reserves in the world. And,
Pretty much, yes, it does right now.
he's using that. He's using that as his leverage. That's his power that he's trying to hold over the world. And he's cozying up to Russia. He's cozying up to China. He's cozying up to Cuba, to North Korea. All sworn enemies of the United States, and he's doing it all in our backyard. And finally, we had a president that took action. And, you hear all these leftists talking about this or that. It's against the war's resolutions and blah, blah, blah. And you can go on and on and on. But, they don't even look at their own party. They don't even look at Biden putting a bounty on this guy's head. Kamala Harris, don't even mention her name. She is about as worthless as, well, I can't even say it
Yeah,
on the
don't
air.
I
She-
can,
she-
but I won't say it. But yeah. Now let me ask you a question, Mr. Drug Guy. You, for those that don't know, Robin was a retired NCIS. He was a drug agent. He dealt with some of the scum of the earth. I know there's some of those scums. They're sweethearts. They're great people, great members of society that should be shot every day, at least one a day, just for GP. That's personal opinion. Now, Robin, how many deals? I mean, you pick up a dude, he's got even a pound on him of pot or whatever. You know he's been trafficking, you made dealing. Have you made any deals with people like that to find a bigger fish?
Oh yeah, all the time. You know, that's part of the game. But the thing is,
I hate it.
people don't understand. I mean, it's part of the game. You know, we used to say, "Tag, you're it."
Yep.
And basically, that's a true statement. Look, you know, when I went into NCIS, I didn't have grand visions of saving the world. I had grand visions of saving my portion of what I'm responsible for and doing the best that I could to, you know, to decrease the drug flow, et cetera. You're never going to stop it. You got too many countries involved. You've got Central America, you've got Colombia, you've got Venezuela. You've got all these countries that are involved in narcotics, whether it be fentanyl, methamphetamine, or cocaine, etc. But, you know, when you grab somebody, I can go on and on about certain cases and certain things. But I'll just tell you this. I had one particular case that started here. It ended up all the way in Miami with ties to South America. And we got multiple agencies involved, and one led to another. We went from here to South Carolina. From South Carolina, we went to Tampa, Florida. From Tampa, Florida, we went to Miami, where it was being distributed, and that's where this individual had contacts. And we just worked ourselves up the chain of command. You know, we had the DEA involved, obviously, along with the FBI.
Did you have New Hanover Sheriff's Office involved in that one?
Yes, sir, they were.
I thought so. I remember that one.
Yeah, they were definitely involved in this one, along with the Onslow County Sheriff's Office and Jacksonville Police Department. We had a whole bunch of agencies involved, but nonetheless, one little spark just started to burn all the way up the ladder. And you know, you see how deep some of this stuff is, and then there's other tiers that are above that are layered and protected that you can't reach, and that you have to find somebody that's able to penetrate that particular barrier and get those individuals. And it's an ongoing problem. And Maduro was sitting at the top of his heap. You know, he's entertaining narco-terrorists from Colombia. He's entertaining all these drug dealers from Mexico, Central America, you name it. And, you know, he's waving it in our face, in our backyard, and then he's buttering up to our known enemies like the Russians, the Chinese, the North Koreans. I mean, it's a lot bigger than what most people think. And the fact that people are saying that he should have notified Congress. Really? The same people that were cheering for Obama when he killed hundreds of people in bombings in Syria without notifying Congress of his pending actions? Are you kidding me? You know, we haven't declared war. The last war we declared war was in World War II. We didn't declare war in Korea. We didn't declare war in Vietnam. Okay? So we don't really need Congress to get in the way, and especially with the yahoos that we got in Congress now. Are you kidding me?
Congress, let me see if I can bring this down to some other folks' levels. The Onslow County Commissioners, the North Carolina Legislature, on a statewide basis, you're working and you were working with a bunch of state cops around here too, SBI, whatever, right? You had that as part of NCIS. Now you were a Fed, but you had these people. You had Onslow County Sheriff's Office involved in a lot of stuff. Do you think it would have been really wise for anybody to notify the Onslow County Board of Commissioners, not that they would go out and rat you out, but do you not think that it is obviously an inadvertent, hey, honey, guess what? They get ready to hit somebody's house here coming up. You're not going to believe it.
It happens all the time.
I know it does.
And the thing, it happens all the time, and unfortunately, that's the way life is. But the fact that our government, you know, I voted for the man, I voted for the people that I voted for in Congress to do what is right. And he was looking out for the best interest of the United States as a whole. In fact, he was looking out for the best interest of the Western Hemisphere and the world, for that matter. So I get tired of hearing the rhetoric, and I laugh at some of the misinformation that's being spewed out there. And I've got to run real quick because I got to get to a meeting. But all I can say is, you know, I'm proud of what he did. He took decisive action. I'm proud of Pete Hegseth, the military and the law enforcement, the federal law enforcement agents that are involved. They went in, and I heard somebody say, you know, hey, we invaded Venezuela. No, we didn't. If we would if we would have invaded Venezuela, we'd have boots on the ground right now.
Yep.
We'd be in total control of that country. This is not an invasion. To me, it was a surgical strike to remove a cancerous cell, just like a surgeon would do in surgery. So that's the end of that as far as I'm concerned.
Well,
and bravo to the president and bravo to the United States.
I agree.
Pretty apt
I
description.
agree.
Thank you, Robin. Go to your meeting.
Commissioner meeting
Yes, sir. Thank you.
11 a.m. this morning.
Yeah, we have the first BOC meeting of the year is
Right.
at 11 o'clock this morning.
All right.
Well,
I'll be
do something
watching.
for me if you would, please.
All righty.
Wow.
Cut my taxes. Bye.
Oh my gosh. Wouldn't that be
you
wonderful?
think I'm going to let
No,
go of the best one?
I'm right there with you, because you talk about,
All right, Robin Knapp, Oslo County Board of Commissioners, and he's, he was a very, very successful
Mhm.
operative back with the feds, and he got around a bit. So,
right.
the funny thing was, I knew about that New Hanover County connection because that was a big deal at that time. I knew about it when it was going down, but I never met Robin.
And Robin and I talking through the years, knowing each other, we talk about different places that we've been and done and things. And, it's no telling how many times our paths crossed over the years
know.
without even knowing. Because
I
he knew the same people I knew.
I
and,
bumped into a lot of people like that. Then I said, I got to ask him one day.
right.
I'll tell a really fast story, right? They
Okay.
had a training session going on, and there was multiple agencies, and I don't know whether I'm going to ask Robin if he was one of those. And they were teaching other guys how to tail people, right?
Right.
And they were out on the streets doing actually on the streets of Wilmington doing a thing. And they all had radio contact. And one of the guys they were tailing, he was a savory looking character. One of the guys they were tailing, some dude comes up to him and offers to sell him some dope. There were like 25 cops down there doing some in-service training on surveillance and following people and all that sort of good stuff. And so they come up to the target of this whole thing. They didn't see any of the other good guys doing the tailing, which was the good thing.
Right.
But they saw the bad guy and they said, hey, this guy looks like he might need some dope. So they came up and tried to sell him some dope. How well do you think that went over?
I would have, well,
They were cracking up.
not
The
going to say
radio
this on
traffic
there.
on that one was funny. Let's just
Right.
put it
I
that way.
imagine it
Oh,
was. I
God.
imagine.
Okay.
Okay.
It's been a great day. Thank you. And
Yes.
thank again all you guys who were checking this
Mhm.
and looking at this stuff from the other night. And
We'll still have plenty of time tomorrow to talk about it.
And I really would. Y'all, if you did not read it, go to Saturday night's posting.
Right.
And just take a look, see, and I may
Give
be,
us your
I may be
thoughts and your
completely off
opinions.
base, but apparently, according to the people who made comments,
Right.
only one or two people had some questions, and one of
Yeah.
those questions, a couple of those questions,
We
I addressed.
Didn't even talk about the protest that happened yesterday here
Yeah,
in Jacksonville. I think
that's
6
not-
or 7 people
Probably
showed
not
up.
worth talking about.
Which I respect anyone's right to protest. I really do.
But get
But
your
I
facts.
I would like to address one thing on it that really ticked me off so bad. We'll do that tomorrow.
Oh,
And it was the display of the United States flag upside down.
that's
Burned me so bad.
that's just not there.
But we'll talk about that tomorrow. We're out of time today.
I'll do
so-
that, and I might come up and take your flag away from you.
If you can't fly it like it should be flown, then leave the
I
country.
might
Is
take
my
it away
opinion.
from you,
So-
and then you can call the police and let's see what happens.
Oh, gonna be a rumble on
rumble.
the strip.
Uh-huh.
A rumble on the strip.
Okay, you're live and local real talk. I've been waiting for Chris to call. I was hoping he'd call. and let us know.
I have a message from him.
Good.
Well,
Okay, we'll talk.
We'll talk about
We'll
it.
talk about it. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Be safe out there and don't take any wooden nickels. Haven't heard that one in a long time, have you?
Okay.
We'll see you in the
See you
morning.
tomorrow.
Bye.